Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. We are trying to put the squeeze on the South and finish this thing off. Here's the Army of North Carolina under George Meade, our newly formed army, 22,000 men, moving toward Fort Macon, where we will establish a base of supply and then work our way down toward Wilmington, see if we can take that port. Here's a major fight happening. Boy, units are low morale, so I'm a little concerned about auto-resolving this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just because I feel like the overwhelming numbers ought to be able to give us a victory, and they do. So there's a victory in Memphis. Now that we're driving all of these small armies off, we ought to be able to hold off here in Memphis for a little while. Here's the current situation. 32 is the national morale for the Confederacy. We've got to get it under 25 to win the war. The good news is we have gotten a huge batch of new weaponry. We've got enough Enfield rifled muskets to outfit 32 brigades, enough Lawrence rifles for 14. So that is huge because we've got a lot of units right now that are going around with less than ideal weaponry. So we're going to start just auto upgrading every one of our armies. So we'll see how many that leaves us with after that's all said and done. That may pretty well wipe us out, but a lot of our units already had them, so let's see where that puts us. Now we've actually still got quite a few. I don't know if they actually did the upgrading or not. We might have to go in and manually do this in some cases. Okay, here's an army we haven't fought with for a little while now. McClellan's Army of the Kanawha. About 37,000 effectives against 27,000 in the Army of Tennessee. This is a place we haven't fought for a while, but this is going to be an important one because we're trying to drive the Confederates back out of eastern Tennessee. And this is our first chance to do that. Well, this is interesting. We're going to be fighting at the Cumberland Gap. And all of the objectives are going to be behind us, which means the Confederates are going to have to attack. And this could not possibly be a stronger defensive position than the Cumberland Gap. So we're going to get ourselves into a place where we can really nail him. We'll want to put some of our best units down in the gap itself. And then we'll hold for dear life. Okay, it looks like they're going to actually come in down this road right here. Was not expecting that. I kind of expected them to come down through the Kentucky State Road. So they're actually going to more likely hit us right here. So I may have to do some shifting over. But for now, we're good. Let's bring this cavalry down. You'll notice there's a new thing here. We've got this loss resilience. Units can break due to low morale or high casualties. The loss resilience is determined by the nation's military experience of the unit, training, and commander's leadership. So they may just bunch up right there. We'll see what happens. Alright, well, they're going to try and hit me down here, which makes sense. This is their best bet rather than attacking up on the main part of the Cumberland Gap. So that means we're going to have to do some shifting, which is not necessarily going to be an easy task. So I'm going to bring Porter back and then over into this position. I'm working on telling Schuyler Hamilton to bring his Michigan Wolverines this way. And then rather than shift entire divisions, I'm just going to shift a couple of brigades here and there. Make this a little easier. Ooh, Custer was wounded. Dang. So you can see the loss resilience number going up, and I guess when they get to a certain point, that's when they're going to break. That's kind of what this is telling us. We're definitely going to need to get some help over here as quick as possible. Push Foster forward a little bit. Get some help here. Hamilton's finally moving. this whole division we're probably going to have to redeploy. Because I don't think we're going to hold too long against these guys. Custer's got his first whole heart filled up there. So you can actually see a morale number now. We have 81% current morale. You get the basic rally value, commander's attributes, and how that affects it, whether they're cut off from commander and what that does. In this case, it hits them for 10% because the commander's been wounded. Overall change per hour. A lot of really useful information there. Alright, 3rd Cavalry's coming in besides Custer's men. That should help. We already knocked out that battery. I'm going to push Porter up a little further. Not sure what's happening there. Got to keep an eye on Custer's men. Got a battery coming in on my right? It is. What's happening with Hamilton's men? No, don't go that way. Alright, all the fighting's still going on the right here. Entirely sure why these guys aren't firing. I guess they are, it just doesn't look like it. There they go. Things are going pretty well so far, even though we're only engaging with a part of our army. 345 losses, 700 for the enemy. Get a look at it from this side. Looks like you can see Custer sending in more reserves. 343, but still a bit to go on morale. Their morale is actually lower. Alright, I think I'm going to send this brigade forward. Let's engage more of his army. I'm going to push right up to the water. I want to get these 10-pounder parrots firing if I can, too. No, Hamilton, I don't want you going that way. I guess you'll be okay. I'm going to send Hamilton out here on the flank in behind Custer just in case they do break. I'll have a backup. Confederate morale is pretty low. Thundering Herd Brigade getting in on the action now. It's such a good defensive position for me. Now we're going to push Custer up to the water. Getting low on ammo with the cavalry, though. These guys have the Enfield musketoon. 3.5 rounds a minute. You guys are 10 rounds a minute, but for some reason they have more ammo than Foster does. Alright, let's get Hamilton all the way out on the flank. And then once he's in position, we'll probably pull Custer out. May not even need any of these men over here. let's go ahead and move some up anyway. We just broke Armistead. Custer's holding up well. As soon as we get Hamilton into position to fire, we'll pull Custer back. Alright, Custer. Your work here is done, sir. Up and over the hill. Take a little while to get those orders because our army commander's way the heck back here. Oh, hello. He's still got forces down here out on my flank. I think we're going to win this thing before that even becomes an issue, though. Nice victory for McClellan. All right, right at the end, we charged in and actually captured a Confederate brigade. Ended up inflicting 9,000 casualties at a cost of 784. Just a ridiculous total. And we've been seeing a lot of those lately just because of the Confederate morale situation where it is. And as things deteriorate more, you see that little number that we were just talking about, which is how it's impacted by the national morale. And when his national morale and his army morale is as low as it is, his units are going to tend to break and surrender much, much sooner than mine will. And that dropped it by another 1% there. Okay, Meade's Army of North Carolina has landed near Fort Macon. Now we're going to have to start establishing a base of supply because we obviously have none to speak of right now, but his readiness is absolutely abysmal. Actually, there just is none. So it's going to get difficult to do much of anything until we can get that readiness up to the point where we can start building supplies. We might just have to try and move the 3rd Corps down. See if we can't establish some kind of a connection with him this way. In which case, I think I'll have to shift the 12th Corps over this way. Alright, Meade has arrived at his destination, so hopefully he can start building that readiness up now. He's at 82% supplied. I think we have a bit of a glitch, and that's not a big deal. It doesn't really affect things in any significant way, but the Army of the Ohio shows 75,000 disabled soldiers, which is obviously ridiculously incorrect. Let's just take a look and see where those numbers are coming from. Alright, so some of these, I mean, these are max 3,000 man brigades, and they're showing 6,600 casualties, or 6,600 disabled men. So that's where your numbers are coming from. I don't know why that's the case, but Boss's Rangers, 8,400 disabled. So a little glitch there with all the updates we've been receiving. Not a big deal, though. It doesn't impact the game in any way. Let's take a look at the situation here. Fort Monroe, cut off from supply, apparently. Our Army of the Kanawha, again, going to be fighting, this time against Price's Corps. So McClellan's definitely getting his fair share. We're going to be fighting at Strawberry Plains Bridge again. Hopefully we get the same defensive position. Alright, this time it's giving him the Cumberland Gap. That makes things significantly more interesting. Plus he's got a larger force this time. I did not go in and replace Custer, so I don't know if he's back or if we're going to be showing without a commander for that unit, but This is going to be really interesting because there's not a lot of good places to march. Okay, so this is cool. I don't remember this happening before, but it looks like it automatically replaced Custer with another commander. In the past, you've had to go in and do that manually, so apparently that's something that it does on its own now, so I like that that's a thing. You can always go in and still replace them, but it makes more sense that automatically someone would take over that position. Well, apparently they were not defending the Cumberland Gap, so we are going to get there first with our cavalry, which is going to allow me the opportunity to move into position defensively, hopefully up on these hills, although it's still telling me I need to attack. Got another cavalry unit here. We're going to send them up with the others. The nice thing is we're getting close to evening, which means we're going to have the option to redeploy within our zones of control. So I'm going to try to grab these objective points because it appears the Confederates are holding back here somewhere in the wide open plains, which is perfect. I avoid having to fight in the hills and in the gap. So I'll be able to use my numbers to my advantage. So if we can grab these objectives, I should be able to deploy my army on the other side of all these hills. All right. We're resupplied. We are ready to redeploy, and it doesn't look like we're going to get to go up nearly as far as I would have liked, but we can at least get up into those areas. It's pulling back all my cav. I had extended out to this position here. That's the way it goes sometimes. Okay, we've spotted him. He's staying way the heck up here. So Smith's cavalry is going to get the first look at him. We've already issued orders for all of our divisions to kind of move into a line right along here. So we'll go ahead and wait and let that unfold. And we're just going to need Smith to kind of do his thing and hold the line until we can get all these other units into position. I guess we can tell McClellan to get closer to the army. And we can bring Foster's cavalry around. Oh, Smith. This is about to get interesting for you. Let's give these guys a single line order, and then we're going to have to probably send them up here to help him out. Okay, we're getting into position. He's building his line right along this high ground here, but he's obviously going to have to shift now that he sees me coming into position. We can pull Smith's cavalry back now. I don't really like Salomon's position because they're in between these two waterways, but we're going to kind of hold where they are and then bring up the other units. We're bringing in Trimble's division in a reserve position. And then Walcott's going to come up here, and we'll put him in right there. Okay, he's advancing. Just as I moved some guns up, he's moving into position. So my guns, my 10-pounder Parrots, are going to be able to lay right into him. So we've got the 5th Brigade under Porter right here, taking the brunt of things. Stanley's 1st Brigade, we've got the Thundering Herd over here, kind of out on the flanks at the moment. Should have moved Smith's cavalry up onto this high ground instead of in front of that valley there. Can't understand why he only advanced with 2 brigades, especially in the face of one of my batteries. He's paying for it. Yeah, Cook got shattered. He was right in front of that 15-gun artillery unit. Come on, Smith, get moving. Oh, he's pulling back. Excellent. Shift Richardson a little bit so we can fuse this line a little better right here. Here he comes with another single brigade. This time it's going to be the Calgary Highlanders and the Lincoln Loyalists that get the action. Definitely not going to be an issue here. Well done, boys. Well done. I think at this point, with the morale situation what it is, I'm not entirely sure the Confederates can put together a decent battle. Especially with the numbers I have here. This may be an opportunity to advance and just try to destroy him. He's adjusting now. Alright, let's push Drury forward. Solomon forward. Walcott's been moving for a while now, so he may be pretty tired, but we're going to move him forward too. All out attack. Let's try and destroy these guys. Oh, he's trying to hit me on my right flank where I'm weakest compared to him. It's not going to matter if we destroy everybody else. Alright, 5th Brigade's got a perk available. Let's give them sharpshooters. Take them out. Calgary Highlanders. 15 guns. Let's nail them before they can pour so much lead into us that we have to break. Beautiful. Nicely done, boys. Alright, we broke him over here. Watch, these guns they're gonna end up breaking. We're losing a lot of men there. Alright, Nagley. Go in. Take out that battery. Send the 5th Brigade along. We gotta protect what's left of these guns. They're about to break. Lovely. Lovely, boys. Nice job. I think they're done. Alright, our second straight victory at Strawberry Plains Bridge. This time against a different force. So, kind of pulling a Jackson's Valley campaign with McClellan In the eastern Tennessee regions around Knoxville, defeating 2 separate armies back to back, and maybe pushing us a little bit closer to ultimate victory. All right, I think we're going to try to get a little bolder here now with our strategy. We're going to move Gibbon south. We're going to go after the Army of the West. I'm going to move Gouverneur Warren's 18th Corps to Grenada, and we're going to set ourselves up to move on Jackson and Vicksburg. These armies will have to pursue. They can't keep getting stretched out like this. We're going to shift the Army of the West south. And I'm just not going to worry about what the Florida State Militia or what these other armies are doing up in Kentucky. We're going to worry about what we're doing. Let's push McClellan down to Knoxville. And then let's see where Meade is. His readiness is starting to inch forward, which is not very fast. The 3rd Corps is making its move into northern North Carolina. And then we're going to shift the 12th Corps back a little bit. Actually, it might not be the worst thing in the world to just hold them here in Lynchburg. All right, we're going to really put the squeeze on them here. We're going to add a new corps to the Army of the Potomac. And several divisions. Looks like Custer's back. Oh no, that's a different Custer. Not the same guy at all. So let's add 3 divisions, each with 3 units of infantry and 1 of artillery. It's going to take a while for all of these guys to get in there. We definitely need to upgrade their weapons. So let's do that there. Now they've got Springfield rifled muskets, 3-inch ordnance. It's going to take a couple of weeks for that new corps to be constituted, but that gives us an additional fighting force. I like to keep the corps numbers historic too. So we're going to actually make this one the 11th Corps, which was an Army of the Potomac unit. If I can type correctly. There we go. All right, and we're going to get a battle here. 12th Corps going up against South Carolina State Militia. Pretty even numbers. Actually, he's got just a slight advantage. The Battle of the James and Kanawha Canal. Okay, we're fighting on the Appomattox Courthouse battlefield, and we're going to defend right in and around Appomattox Courthouse. We'll even let him have this objective point right here because most of the other objectives are behind us. So we're in a strong position to force him on the attack. I think I want to bring these guns up on the hill here somewhere. Alright, he's coming down exactly where I hoped he would, down this main road, although he does appear to be shifting over to the place I wished he hadn't been. I guess that makes sense, though, with the road being right here, that he might do that. We may need to move George McCall's division over to this side, but I'll hold off for now until we see what he does. He's going to put it in right here. Our guns are opening up. This 12th Corps is one of my newer corps, and so most of these units have not yet seen combat. A lot of them getting their first action today. Alright, I'm going to pull McCall over here. We'll start with the artillery. Let's go ahead and bring the whole division over. We are slightly outnumbered here. Hopefully he doesn't move till we get him into position. Alright, so he shifted his force over. So I started bringing McCall's division up and around to try and hit his flank, and now he's advancing toward my left flank, but it's almost nightfall. Prince has taken a lot of casualties. We may end up losing that battery. They're down to 11 guns. They've taken 70 losses. They're low on ammunition, and their morale's not good, so we're going to pull them out. But we've got Gabriel Paul right here. Gabriel Paul historically was a brigade commander in the 1st Corps of the Army of the Potomac. Was shot through both eyes on the first day at the Battle of Gettysburg, blinded. Yeah, I'm not surprised that George McCall's division is tired. They've been marching a lot, but it's almost nightfall. We're not going to have a lot of action here. I'm going to send these skirmishers to go deal with Pickett's battery. Actually, for that matter, I want to have this whole brigade focused on them, even though they're exhausted. Wilson, we got to deal with that battery, and we got to deal with them quickly before they light us up. Not liking how this is going so far, especially on my left. He kind of outmaneuvered me in this one a little bit. All right, Hayes, you got a hold over there. We threw back the center. That's good news. We're going to need Wilson to drive back this militia now. Or this battery. Hit them. They're exhausted. This might not be the best idea. First time in combat, exhausted after doing a lot of marching. And then I charge them into a battery. But hopefully with this other, with Alfred Terry's brigade right there, it's going to help support them. Yep, we got them. Excellent. All right, that worked out after all. I'm just a little worried about Harry Hayes, or Alexander Hayes over here. Harry Hayes was a Confederate general. So let's send Benton up for support. Petherbridge as well. And I think we're going to run out of daylight pretty soon anyway. Oh, here he comes again. Holy cow. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. I was not expecting another Confederate attack. At all. Dang, this might be a problem. Keep Gabriel Paul right where he is. Alright, boys. Hang on for dear life. I don't know how much more daylight we have. So far, we're good. He's trying to get around my flank, though. Whoa, what's going on there? And I don't like how this is shaped up at all. Really concerned about my left, especially Alexander Hayes. What are the numbers looking like? Okay. We might be able to break his left before he breaks mine. I don't like like what he's doing here. He's going for the objective. That's what he's doing. Wilson, commander of the 2nd Brigade, has been wounded. That's over here out on my right. They're taking a lot of casualties. And they're outflanked. But look at him go, man. He just outmaneuvered the heck out of me there. Not really anything I can do about it either. Where's Rosser going? Why wouldn't he stay on my flank? He has me. He went and grabbed the objective, came down here, had me on the flank, and then pulled back. He had a perfect situation there to turn my left. He still got me overloaded. Hayes isn't going to last much longer. Man, he is really loading up on my left. We've got to break his right before he does that. Oh, Wilson's not going to last. Oh, it's the end of the day, thank goodness. That may have just bailed me the heck out. Alright, so I've redeployed. Pulled everybody back a little bit, try to kind of solidify my line. He's going to come straight at me. And we'll see what happens. Alright, looks like we drove off one brigade. I'm pulling Gabriel Paul's men back, but it may have been too late. His lost resilience is not looking too good right now. Try to push some help over there as quickly as we can. But it does look like we're pushing him back a little bit. We're showing as a minor victory right now. 4,000 casualties for me, 6,000 for him. Pretty heavy losses on both sides. But I feel like maybe we're getting messed up here. We're down to just 10 guns in Gabriel Paul's battery. But I've held the objectives long enough that I think it's gonna shift further and further in my direction. 29 objective points for me, 4 for him. He's actually got me on routes right now. So we may need to push things just a little bit to finish it off. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, Hayes has lost 800 men already. Oh, here he comes. He's going to attack us again. Full frontal attack with everything he's got. Let's hope we can drive him off. Roberts has lost a lot of men. These poor guys, man, most of them it's their first combat and they're suffering heavy, heavy losses. These units he's attacking me with have not suffered that many at all. They're all fresh brigades. And may turn the tide in this one. Yeah, I know Paul's losing, man. He's been losing, man. Lane, on the other hand, has lost a lot of men. McCall's division's lost 1,200 men. Pennington's division's lost 1,100, and Rosser's division's lost 2,000 men. Man, this has been brutal. Don't think we're going to hang on unless a couple of his units break soon. He is really putting the pressure on me. I don't know how long Roberts is going to last. Or Petherbridge. This is nuts. I cannot believe how bloody this battle is. did drive off a brigade there. That helps some. They're gonna force the issue on Pedley Bridge. I don't think he's gonna handle this. This may be it for him. I'm gonna send Benton in there, see if I can get some help. Nah, we're done. I think we're in trouble. I think this is a battle I need to withdraw from. Let's pull him out before it gets any worse. Alright, the casualties were good for us, but we were outnumbered there. But he lost 10,000 men. We lost 6,600, but had to withdraw. But that's one of those situations where it was really just for the good of the army. We've got another whole corps coming to the Army of the Potomac, and I think that'll make a big difference when it happens. So we're going to wrap it up right there. Still got a little bit of time to go. I was hoping maybe we could push things enough to win the war here, but we're not quite there yet. So let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.